Have you ever had the experience of having your room get messy over and over again, even if you clean it up pretty well? This video is for those of you who have ever experienced it. Today, I'll introduce you to 7 tips on how to keep your room simple. A lot of my simple life is inspired by the Japanese tea ceremony called Chanoyu. So I'm sure you'll get a unique perspective from this video, so please enjoy until the end. First, start your day by cleaning up in the morning. In Chanoyu, it's essential to clean the utensils before preparing matcha. This practice not only expresses respect for the guests, but also serves to purify one's own heart. And I adopt this rule in my everyday life. When I wake up in the morning, I open the window and start cleaning a bit. By doing this, I notice some small trash or something I don't need and keep my room clean all the time. Also, cleaning in the morning not only makes the room tidy, but also allows you to spend the entire day with a fresh and clear mindset. If the start of the day matters, so does the end of the day. Second, put things back to where they were before going to bed. Chanoyu is more than just preparing matcha. After making matcha, it's essential to clean the utensils and return them to their original places. When applying this to daily life, it translates to always return items to their original places before going to bed. Therefore, take a few minutes before bed to check your surroundings. Are there any items left out of place? If so, put them back where they belong. By doing this, your place will consistently remain organized. It's that simple. But Aki, this simple thing is not so easy for me. Yeah, for those of you thinking that, I'll give you some tips on how to put things back where they belong, which is to third, assign addresses to the items. In Chanoyu, there are very specific rules about where things should go. For example, in Bondyaku Demae, there are the designated original positions. Even within the actions, the fukusa is placed at 9 o'clock, the chakin at 3 o'clock, and the chashaku at 4 o'clock, like this. These positions can be considered as the address of the items. Having the complete grasp of where things is allows the tea ceremony to go smoothly and efficiently. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that you can aim for this state in your room as well. And even for the smallest items, decide on their designated places. For example, pens go in this drawer in this order, clothes are in this closet arranged in this sequence. This will help you decide where to put things and make it easier to find things without having stress. By the way, if there are no rules about where things should go during the tea ceremony, you'll be like, oh, where's the tea bowl? Where's the tea whisk? Yeah, it becomes extremely stressful, and it's not mindful at all. That's why messy rooms seem to be in the exact same situation. So Arki, are there any tips for determining the addresses of items? Certainly. The key is to place the things you want to use within 5 seconds of reach. For example, in my case, the broom and dustpan used for cleaning are always hung on the wall. By doing this after waking up and open the window, I can start cleaning within 5 seconds. Why within 5 seconds? Because if something feels bothersome, people tend not to do it. For example, if these cleaning tools were in the next room, just going to get them would be inconvenient, and you might lose motivation to clean, right? However, if they are within reach of 5 seconds, you can quickly grab them and start cleaning. Therefore, I highly recommend to place frequently used items where you can reach them within 5 seconds. Fourth, make the storage space small. A tea room is typically a small space, usually around 4.5 tatami mats. This compact space has the effect of regulating the accumulation of items. Have you ever packed your suitcase full of things when traveling, only to realize that you don't end up using most of the items? Yeah, I've had that experience too. People tend to fill up a variable space with the mindset of let's put this and that in, if there's room for it. In other words, the larger the storage space, the more items tend to accumulate unconsciously. That's why keeping storage space small on purpose can help keep things from piling up. And another example, I recently changed my desk. The drawers of the desk I originally had were this large, so they kept a lot of items. However, with the new desk, the drawers are smaller, allowing me to narrow down the contents to only the essentials. As a result, my space is always organized and I can access items without stress. So when purchasing storage items, it might be worthwhile to choose smaller ones intentionally. Fifth, leave some empty space in the storage. One day, while I was in the tea room, I found myself feeling, why does the tea room feel so calming? That's when I realized the importance of empty space. In the tea room, there are typically only a few items, such as a hanging scroll, flowers, and tea utensils. Besides that, there is just empty space. It's this absence of clutter that I believe allows for a sense of tranquility without feeling overwhelmed by objects. That's why I value having empty space in my room a lot. And this concept of space is crucial not only for the room itself, but also for storage spaces. For example, how would you feel if a storage space looked like this? Yeah, you would likely feel overwhelmed by the volume of things, right? Just looking at it could be stressful, and retrieving items would be even more so. So leaving empty space in storage is incredibly important. Having an empty space has more benefits than just making it easier to pick up things. It also allows you to promptly assign a place for new items when you get them. So I typically allocate around 70% for storage and leave 30% as an empty space. Sixth, determine the theme of your room. In a tea room, there is a hanging scroll. This hanging scroll displays the theme that the host values, and hospitality during the tea ceremony is tailored to that theme. For example, if the hanging scroll presents the theme Shunsui, shitaku ni mitsu, meaning the spring water fills the various streams as the snow melt, then the theme is spring. Because of this, flowers and tea tools with a spring theme are set up. In other words, items are decided based on the theme of the tea ceremony, so the theme determines the items. The same applies to rooms. People who end up with too many things often haven't decided on the theme for their room. Essentially, without a room theme, they are unsure of what to place in their rooms, so they tend to impulsively buy random things. That's why, just like in the tea ceremony, it's crucial to determine a theme for your room. For example, the theme of my room is Resort of Heart, modern Japanese tea room. So I have tatami mats and feature them goes with them. With a defined theme like this, I'll add a chandelier, I'll buy a TV, I'll put a sofa here. These kind of decisions never happen. Because there is a theme, people don't buy things that aren't needed. To determine a theme, start by imagining your ideal life. Please give it a try, you might find it very helpful. 7th, determine the number of items. Finally, in the procedures of the way of making tea, there are several rules regarding numbers. For example, the tea scoop is cleaned 3 times. The tea bowl is rotated twice before drinking. When drinking matcha, drink it 3.5 sips. I thought about incorporating these numerical rules into my simple life. It's not about something like rotate the ramen twice before eating or turn around 3 times before entering the bathroom. It's about determining the number of items. For me, it's generally 5 or 3, depending on the type of item. Let me give you an example. I limit items like underwear, t-shirts, and socks to 5. Shoes and outerwear, on the other hand, are limited to 3. By setting these limits, I find myself not buying more than I need. So if you have a lot of pens, try narrowing it down to 5. If you own 4 pairs of shoes, try reducing them to 3. If you have 4 coats, try limiting them to 3. By setting these numerical limits, you can let go of excess items and avoid unnecessary purchases. Above all, having fewer items reduces the stress of decision making. Okay everyone, today I gave you 7 tips to maintain a simple life based on the tea ceremony, Chanoyu. What did you think about it? Was there any tip that might help you? And please let me know in the comments if you have any other tips to keep your life simple. Alright then, stay tuned for next time. Bye bye.